you'll always be wondering what if you didn't do it. People talk a lot about time, like, well, I haven't got time. But I think we use that as an excuse because if you really want something, you make time for it.
Worst comes to the worst, you just get a job at Tesco's, right? I'm Martina, and welcome to Women Inspired Networking Conversations, the podcast. Now, if you're a woman in business who's ever been nervous about networking, felt intimidated about the salesy approach that most networking events have, then this is for you. This podcast is all about real conversations. No fluff, no pressure. Just real conversations with other women in business who understand the journey. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy. Grab a coffee and let's chat. Today, I'm with Danielle Marshall from Danielle Marshall Business Solutions. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Martina.
Thank you for spending the time with me. Today, really, really exciting because we've never done anything like this on the podcast before. But we're going to be talking about starting up and what you need to do to be able to start a business. Because I think so many people are thinking about starting a business, but just overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. So that's what we're going to be chatting about. Tell me to start with a bit about your business and a bit about your story.
Yeah, so I actually was in the spa and wellness industry for about 17 years. So I started here in Suffolk in Stowmarket. I worked in a local spa and also was self-employed as a mobile beauty therapist. And then at 21, I went to work on cruise ships. And I did about 3.5 years traveling the world, which was amazing. And then that took me over to Dubai for 5 years, where I was working in 5-star hotel chains. So I was used to that business lifestyle and being held accountable for my spa department as well. And then I was actually stuck on a cruise ship in COVID. So we was actually sailing around the Canary Islands, and when they did that big government announcement that everything was going to stop worldwide for cruise ships, we were lucky that we disembarked all of our passengers. So it was just crew members. So we was actually floating outside of Gran Canaria for 3 weeks before we had permission to sail back to the UK. But even while we were sailing back, it was still touch and go whether they would let us stop. So I was quite lucky. It was only a month. So when I actually arrived back, I never complained about lockdown because being stuck on a cruise ship is very different to being stuck in your own home in England. With the pandemic, I knew that things weren't going to pick up. So that's when I took a job at Retreat East in Hemmingstone, which is bespoke, beautiful luxury brands as a spa manager. And I was actually there until I had my daughter. And then, as most mums will know, it's just so hard to work in a normal job with normal holiday when you don't have anyone else to support with childcare. So that's kind of when I was reevaluating. But while I was pregnant, I actually set up my husband's business. So he's a painter and decorator, and he kept saying that he wanted to just start up, but he didn't have the courage to do it. So then I was just like, well, let's just set you up. So even if you do little jobs on the side at the weekend, you've got that as a foundation and just see what happens. But once I set everything up for him, he was literally only quiet for about 2 weeks. And that was it. He's been fully booked ever since. So once I then had my daughter, and I was saying that I didn't want to go back to the hotel industry and the spa industry, everyone was like, well, why don't you help people who are looking to start up their business? You've got all this experience from setting up Andy's business. I was also doing social media for a local beauty training academy. So like, why don't you use these skills that you're learning and that you obviously have and actually help people? So then I kind of toyed with the idea. And then when I had to make that decision whether I was going back to work or whether I should start up, I just thought, well, I might as well just go for it. Worst case scenario, I can just get a job in Tesco's is what I was literally thinking. And I was so lucky that when I started up just over 2 years ago, that it kind of grew through word of mouth and just through people recommending on social media. Because like I always said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's so important that you get to know people and that you tell them what you do, because they might not need you, but they might know someone that needs you.
Actually, what you've just said there is exactly what I say about networking.
Yeah.
It's not the people in the room, it's the people they know.
Yeah. And it's so important, isn't it? Because it really is. Because you just never know who you're talking to. They might not need you, but they might need you in a year's time, or they might be talking to someone who does need you. And also, I love being able to help other people so that when I'm talking to them, I want to know what they're doing so that if I can't help someone, I know someone that does. So when I started up 2 years ago, I started as a virtual assistant because I thought obviously being a mum, having that flexibility that I can do it all from home would be amazing. And for the most part, I still do a lot of virtual assistant work. But what I've actually found is that people love having that support in person. So I actually work quite differently. I actually go and meet my clients. It might be at their home address, or it might be where their business is, or we might meet in a mutual location. So I actually support them in person. So that might be like literally just sitting there and they just want to be guided how to be helped. Or it might be they actually want me to sit there and learn and watch me do it. Or it might be they want me to teach them how to do the things that they're doing. Or it might be, no, Danielle, here's the information, crack on, let me know when it's done.
It's really different because not everyone wants all of the job to be taken away from them. Some people want
Yeah,
to learn how to do it so that
yeah.
long term they can take that over. And it's so lovely that you offer that opportunity for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what I found with the industry as well, and in every industry you find, not everyone wants to share how to do things, which I think is quite sad because, yeah, I know we have competitors out there, but, you know, helping people, even if you still offer the same thing, you're still going to appeal to different people, aren't you? So I think it's important not to always be, scared to share how to do things, share the knowledge.
I think that's so wonderful. I really resonate with that, like the kindness and the having an impact on people and really changing people's lives. I just think that's so wonderful. So, we're going to talk about people who maybe have a business idea or have taken the plunge and been like, yes, I'm definitely going to start that business. What now? So, what would you say to people? Where do people start?
I think the biggest thing is not to be scared and just go for it, especially if it's been on their mind for a while. Unless you try, you won't know. So you can't just dip your toes in. You've just got to go for it. And I think the problem with that is people are scared of what people will think. So you can't. You just have to go for it. And what I say to clients as well is that what you'll find more than anything is actually people want to support you. So share what you're doing online because they want to know, they want to help you. And then again, those recommendations come. So don't be afraid what people think. Just go for it. You'll definitely have a lot more supporters than what you will negative people. The second thing is try not to be overwhelmed by everything you've got to do because you don't have to do it all at once. Like even for me, because I was very lucky that I got busy through word of mouth. I didn't have a website until about a year ago. So I did over a year without a website.
Yeah, so I have only just had a website really in the last 8 months, probably.
So you don't have to have it all at the beginning. And also, everything is a work in progress because even for you, Martina, look at how much your business has already grown in the time that you've been going. It's always a work in progress. So things will adapt and change and you have to adapt and change with them. What I've been doing recently a lot of is actually business plans, but not really big complicated ones. It's just literally a simple Excel spreadsheet and just thinking about what you need to do. So set up Facebook. Okay. Well, what deadline do you want to give yourself? Okay, let's go for the end of June. So just give yourself a few easy goals with months to achieve them by, but making sure not everything is in 1 month because it's not going to happen, is it? I think definitely giving yourself easy things to work towards and not overwhelming yourself with thinking you have to do it all because you don't. And again, if you can't do it all, that's when you come to the networking event so that you can network with the people that can help you with the bits that you can't do. Or if they don't know, hopefully they'll know people that can help you.
It is incredible. I always say to people, don't just come for the connections, come for the advice. People who have only just started their business who are really nervous and don't know anything. They're like, oh no, I'm not established enough for that. And I'm like, no, this is what it's about. Come and learn off of people. People are so willing to give advice. And like you say, if one person doesn't know who you're looking for, someone else will. But yeah, so social media is a really good place to start, right?
So set it up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but at least just have something there because again, it's just about showing, hello, I'm here. Like, this
Yeah.
is my business. So, and again, it's free, isn't it? So if you're working with Tight budget, social media is a great place to start, and also Google Business Profile, which I know you've just set up and you've been working on getting your reviews as well. So all of these little things, they're free, aren't they? So make the most of them.
So can I ask you about social media?
Yeah.
Pages, groups, profile?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I think it all depends what you're trying to achieve because, like for you with your networking, the group is amazing because you can put everyone in there and you can deliver one message. And also, then you've got the engagement going there. And I think for engagement, groups are amazing, but it all depends on your industry, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I can imagine for what you do, a group isn't going to work as well.
No, exactly. So it all depends what you're offering, especially for people that do tropic selling, where they're going to have special offers coming up. Having a group there is fantastic because they can just put their offers straight in there. And I think your engagement obviously is going to be a lot higher in a group than it is on a page because there seems to be like a big thing about people now using a personal profile on Facebook rather than a professional one. And I think, again, it all depends what you're comfortable with because like for me personally, because I've spent so many years abroad, I have a lot of friends and family all over the world. So I want to keep my personal and my professional separate. But for some other people, they're happy to bring it all together. So you have to do what's comfortable for you, really.
I think for me, I use my personal profile. I can't think of anything worse than having another page to post on. Instagram. I have like 3 Instagram pages for the Success Circle for Women Inspired Network for me. And there's
Yeah,
another one coming as well for the mum group that we're going to be doing. And
yeah,
then obviously I've got my profile page. It's too
yeah,
much. I can't cope.
yeah. It is a lot.
So once someone set their profile up, they're on Facebook, either as a group or as a page or as their profile. They've started telling the world what they do.
Yeah.
What do they do next?
So I think it's also important that when you're posting on socials, you've got a clear call to action. So what you want the customers to do, is that to contact you? Is it you're just feeding them information? There's so many things, but for a small business owner, it's just a matter of setting it up, making sure that what you're posting obviously does have a kind of a reason behind it, but it is now obviously shifting, isn't it, with socials, which you'll probably find it's about organic, keeping it real. You don't have to be super polished, but obviously you've got to deliver that message that you want to achieve. So whether that be get in touch for your free discovery call and then making sure your details are in there. So then it's obviously making sure that you then do actually check in on your socials each day to make sure if you've got messages there, you do get back to people.
Yeah, that's my problem. I think I need a VA really just to go through all my stuff because I really struggle with it. Instagram, because I've got so many Instagram accounts, I don't keep up
Yeah.
with it and I don't really like Instagram. So I've got messages from like ages ago that I haven't even got back to people. I'm terrible. I'm like your worst nightmare.
Yeah. Or maybe,
But also what you were saying, people use AI now for so much stuff.
yeah.
The world is very crowded. I mean, if I see on Facebook another poster that is made by AI,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go mad. I just don't look at it anymore. And I think that's what people are like with AI captions as well. So I was using AI for a bit. I mean, I'd tweak it, but I was using it for the majority just because it was time consuming. But I've gone back to just writing it myself the majority of the time. And I think that's so much more authentic and it stands out in a crowd because everyone's using AI.
Yeah. I think it's so hard, isn't it? Because there's a time and a place that we all need to use it. And I think for somebody that's new and has no idea, that's maybe a good starting point just to kind of give them the confidence to actually post. But then it's then time to obviously use amazing tools like Canva, and edits is amazing for Instagram. That's something I've just kind of started with. I'm a bit late to the party with that one, but it's an amazing app to use for your video editing as well. Reels on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you say, there are things like Canva that are great. I
Yeah.
actually I don't use edits. I actually use CapCut.
You know what? Try edits, honestly. Give it a go.
I'm just not an Instagram person. I
With edits, because it's actually been made by Instagram, when you use edits, it likes it. So it means it will help push it out further. That's what I've personally been finding in the last couple of weeks that I've been using it.
all
Give it a
right.
whirl.
I'll give it a whirl. I'll try it. You've convinced me. So are there any other like apps that you think are really useful for people starting out?
I do love the Canva app. I do think that is a really important one, whether that's the free or the paid version, because again, when you're starting up with your branding and everything, especially if you're not working with a big budget there, you can create a basic logo with a branding of color schemes. And on the talks of Canva, one little trick I'm going to share with really small business owners is that it's all well and good with social media to pay somebody like me or someone else to make lots of branded templates for you to use on socials. But what I've actually done for a few clients that are working on a tighter budget is that Etsy, you can actually find branded templates for Instagram and Facebook already made. You can literally pay like £5. Obviously, they do go up in value. So the better quality ones, maybe £30, £40. But some of them you can get 100 templates from. And then for me with Canva Pro, I literally just whack them in, change the colours to be their branding, add their logos, and then we can sit and tweak the text to make it more personal and to their business. But it's a great way to save on time and money for small business owners.
So that makes posting easier because that can be very overwhelming. I know, because everyone says be consistent, like post often. But if you've got nothing to post and you've got no creatives and you've got nothing, it's overwhelming. So that's really good.
Obviously, looking at your competitors so that when you're starting up with whatever industry it is, you need to know how to price yourself. And what I find with a lot of people is they don't have the confidence when they're starting up to actually pay themselves their worth. And I think that's so important that they go out with market value, even if it is maybe a little bit below beginner, but I really try and push them to be there in the mid range because it's so important to pay yourself what you're worth. We might go out and look to see how other businesses in their industry are advertising and what kind of wording they use, because again, that's just helping you. It's not that you're copying, but it's just that you understand how they're doing it. It's just something to give you a base to work from, because otherwise when you sit with a new business, it's so hard, isn't it, sometimes? So you need to get inspired, like Women Inspired Networking.
Yeah. I actually have done that for Women Inspired Network. I go on TikTok
Yeah,
for like networking groups to see what kind of things are working at the minute. Because I know that TikTok tends to be a trend that comes in before Instagram. So it gives me a bit of
yeah.
a time to play with some templates and stuff. But yeah, it is really useful just to go online, go on Instagram, go on Reels, go on TikTok and just see what are people in your industry doing and what could I do that resonates with me, or what message could I put that is in my words.
Exactly that. A website is a really important one. For some businesses, they can start up without them. Not every business needs a website. But again, it's just about building that reputation that you are genuine online. Because let's face it, when most people will research a lot of the time, whether that is just having a click through on social media, having a look on Google, just to see who that person is and what they offer. So it's about setting up your branding, your logos, and also deciding what your ethos is.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Standing out from a crowd by being you and showing that in your messaging, that can be really, really powerful.
Definitely, because people buy from people, and I think that's one that a lot of business owners forget sometimes, or they're scared, aren't they, to put themselves out there because it's quite vulnerable.
Oh, definitely. Everyone wants to be successful, and everyone just looks at other people that are doing what you want to do and being like, oh, I need to do it like that. But actually, that
Yeah,
doesn't always work, because if it's not authentic to you, it's going to come across like you're copying, and then it's not going to have the results. So you're much better, I think, just to be you, go all in, like no
yeah,
fluff. If
yeah,
you're on social media and you're like, oh, I'm starting this thing and I'm really excited, tell me what you do. Just be honest. Say what you do. Be unapologetic about it. If your heart's in it,
definitely. It's so important. It really is. And I think coming to the networking groups, I really think it is so important because it is a confidence booster. Because for a lot of us, it is coming out of our comfort zones to come to these groups. And they will walk away feeling inspired, which will then also help build their confidence, whatever stage their business is at. But even, I think even more so when they're starting, because then they can see and hear about all these amazing businesses and how all the women are a lot of the time running multiple businesses. They've got young children, older children, homeschooling, disabilities, whatever it may be. it just shows them that they can do it.
Yeah, exactly. If that lady can do it with 5 kids and XYZ, surely I can do it. But also, I can go chat to that lady and ask her
Yeah,
how she's done it, and maybe I can do it too.
yeah,
So I agree. I think it's more important to come to networking events, like whatever networking it is, if it aligns with you, if it's your bag, do as much of it as you can, because at every stage of the process, because at the beginning you need the confidence to be able to go all in. Once you're all in, you're like, God, I've got to do it now. So you need to cast the net wide, get yourself out there, like tell people about your business. But like you say, it's hearing other people's stories, knowing you're not
yeah.
alone. Business is hard. So it's nice to be in good company that you can be really brutally honest. When it comes to networking, you've been coming to my networking events for years, like
Yes.
from back in the
Yeah.
day. You've been coming for a long time. And then I haven't seen you in a really long time, to be fair. We've had a little bit of
Yeah.
you've had a little bit of a break from it, but you've recently started coming back. And I'm really interested to know, have you noticed a difference since you've dipped your toe back in from having that really big break?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I'd become a bit of a hermit over winter. My business, I was just so busy as well, lots of overwhelming things to deal with as well personally. It was just kind of, I was hibernating away, and to come back, I was nervous to come back, but I was like, I need to do this. And I kept trying a few times, and my daughter was sick, or then another time I had a migraine. And then I finally got there to Woodbridge, didn't I, last month. So coming back to your networking events after a break, it's been amazing to see, because obviously I was there at your first one in Bury that you had, it was like 40 of us, I think, wasn't it, or more,
Yeah, 45.
which was just absolutely 45. It was absolutely incredible. And to then come back to your Woodbridge one last month, it's just like you fine tuned it so that, even for me, I've done a lot of public speaking over the past in previous job roles, but I still hate it. So to come and know that I haven't got to stand up in front of everyone and go, hello, I'm Danielle, this is what I do. That is already made me so much more relaxed. And I think once you've been to one of your events, I know at least I'll know you, or I'll
Yeah.
know somebody. And having the online directory, it really does help, because I already have a rough idea of who's going, who I'd like to connect with, who I'd like to hear from. And it kind of calms down the nerves. And then guaranteed, everybody is always so welcoming when you arrive in. And it is so important to keep the networking up, especially as someone that's self-employed and works by themselves a lot, because let's face it, it can get quite lonely. You can get stuck in your own head. So with your events, I always walk away feeling so inspired and motivated. And I'm normally buzzing so much, I can't do any work for the rest of the day. Literally, I cannot work.
Do you know what? That phrase everyone says. Like, I
Yeah,
just leave buzzing and inspired. And I kind of sit back and I'm like, I don't even know what I've done. But everyone says it. Everyone says
yeah,
they leave so inspired. I think it's because I seem to attract the most wonderful women.
yeah,
And the women in the room are all very open, they're all very curious. Everyone gets it. And everyone's really open to connect and share their networks. And that's just so lovely. And that's where the connections really happen. When you're willing to refer someone to someone else, you feel
yeah,
like, actually, I got something out of that session. I really got
yeah.
something out of that session.
Definitely. You've just fine-tuned it in such a way that it is so welcoming and so inspiring, and it is so important. Even if people don't have the time to come every month, they really should just book the time out ahead and at least try and come every couple of months, because it is so important. And I think it's a shame when people are scared of networking and put it off for as long as they do, or they never go because they're scared. Whereas your events, you don't have to public speak. There's always going to be people that will welcome you there. Everyone will welcome you there. And I love the way you do the little speed networking as well, because the little one-to-ones or the little groups is amazing, rather than being in one big table where you can't always hear a lot of people speak, because some people might take over more space. And so it's just
Yeah.
fine tuned and it's perfect the way it works. And then having that directory afterwards, I always make a point of just saying, oh, it was lovely to meet you today, or it was lovely to catch up with you again today, or sorry, I wasn't able to speak to you today. There was too many people there, but hopefully I'll catch you again, because it's so important, isn't it, to, get to know people, because you never know, I might need them in a few months' time or next year.
Right. So, Danielle, if someone is sitting there listening, thinking, I really want to start a business, I'm really passionate about this thing, but I just don't know where to start. And I'm really on the fence. Should I? Shouldn't I? what would you say to them?
I would say just go for it. You'll always be wondering what if you didn't do it. You know, people talk a lot about time, like, well, I haven't got time. But I think we use that as an excuse because if you really want something, you make time for it.
Worst comes to the worst, you just get a job at Tesco's, right? Like you said, let's round up the tips so that someone who's new can write these down. And this is where to start. So you tell us all the tips that you've gone through.
So I think definitely, obviously, your business plan, number one, something short and sweet, doesn't need to be overcomplicated with clear deadlines and it's achievable. Then I think definitely social media, I'm afraid, even for those that are scared to use it, it is time. We all have to get on board if you want your business to move in the right direction. And it's free advertising. Then also Google Business Profile, especially if you have a website, but you can just link your socials from there. Again, it's free advertising and it will help bump you up on Google searches. Then, of course, you need to know your strategy. Who is your customer? Who you want to help? And then you've got to think about your branding, your logos, your colours, and then your pricing. Look into the market to see how you want to structure that to make sure that you've got all the bases in place and that you pay yourself what you deserve as well. Because so many people don't do that to begin with.
That is so useful. Thank you so much. And it's been lovely to see you back at the events. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Martina.
Thank you so much for being here and listening with us today. If you're loving the podcast and want to find out more about our Women Inspired Network events, then find out more on www.womeninspirednetwork.com/events. Or you can connect with us on Facebook under Women Inspired Network, or follow along on Instagram under women_inspired_network. And of course, subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss an episode. I'll see you next week for another honest conversation.